It's a wonderful day again to be back with you. Considering everything every day, life being short, even if you exercise, there's nothing promised. Even if you see the doctor every day, there's nothing promised. Even if you take your medications, there's nothing promised. Even if you eat healthy, there's nothing promised. I think the only gift is when God graces upon you and his mercy. And so we're happy to be back here again with you in the issues room. I'm Volcano Shelton. I'd like to welcome you wherever you are, all over the world, to our 119th edition. This evening conversation going to be interesting. It's going to be a little loud. It's going to be intriguing. And we want to encourage all of you, our viewers out there right now, to join us here. Please, please, please share the link. Encourage someone to come in and join you. Don't do this by yourself. We encourage you to love us, like us, and follow us on Facebook. This is the Issues Room, the alternative social media platform here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and the Issues Room page. We broadcast on Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're not in any competition. We're only here in our own space, trying to make sure we can enlighten, we can share our experiences and the knowledge we bring to the show, the research we do behind the scene, just to be prepared to have these great conversations in the interest of Liberia, the African continent, and the diaspora. Moses Sandy, welcome again, my brother. Again, like I was saying, all the things I laid out do not save you. What saves you is the grace of God and his mercy.
Absolutely.
Because we see it now, people
Oh
working
yeah.
out and they come right off the treadmill. In the case of Dr.
Yes,
Cassell,
sir.
and he's no more. Somebody eat healthy. They said they would starve themselves, and they die from starving. You eat the starch, you eat the cholesterol,
Yeah.
the chicken, all those things. You drink the king juice or you drink the Gana, all of that. It,
Everything,
it,
man.
it doesn't matter how you try to live in a perfect situation. When God ready, that's
You're
it.
going.
So you
It,
just gotta ask for his grace. Good to see
it
you.
just definitely. It's also good to see you, and Mr. Shelton, you look very executive, my man.
Listen, man, this is the issues room. You got to play, you know. Let me tell you something. This is television. This is
I
real
know,
television.
absolutely, man. That's
People,
why it's about, man.
people that
Yeah.
lay down in bed and they say they talk show host. How you lay down in your bed you talk show host? How you how you how you how you be looking at somebody talking to you? I'm in a studio. I'm sitting
Yeah.
quietly. Nobody can invade my personal space right now. But somebody they can say, man, hold on, man. Wait, I come
and the man is coming to host a show,
uh,
completely naked,
yeah.
or he coming nude,
The man is dressed any kind of way.
and he
Yeah,
says he's doing a podcast.
yeah.
So who's gonna watch you
Or
like that?
the show way in the middle, one of the host show, he just entered the show from nowhere.
Yeah,
Where are the
I
men
mean,
coming from?
no sense of professionalism. Some of the
Yeah,
show,
yeah.
even some of the big platforms, but man, the other day I was watching. The
Don't
show
call no
was
name,
almost
oh. Just
no,
sit
the
down.
show was
Beg me,
almost
I don't want no
the
trouble.
show. Yeah, forget it. The show was almost to an end,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when one of the panelists came in. I said, "What?
Yeah.
Did you
Especially,
follow the discussion
especially if the panel is a part of the team.
as a part of the team?"
It's not. It should. Whoever hosting, whoever is the anchor, should not even allow that person
Yeah, you
to come
can't,
on, because
you can't
it
come
just
up.
tells me that you're not prepared,
You're
you're
not
not
prepared.
ready, and there's
Mhm.
no need for you to be a part of this conversation for this production. If it's the guest, maybe we're looking at technical issues here and there,
Yeah,
but as a
you can't
panelist
be a
on the show
panelist
and you're
coming
showing up toward the end, yeah, that's not cool. But
on the
Moses,
show.
good to see you. Let's quickly roll the dice. We have our good friend and brother here tonight who has made it on time to be with us, so we don't want to keep him backstage long. But the only one thing, and I think he should join us in trending news, because it's gonna
I mean, everything is trending news.
yeah, so it's going to stimulate the conversation. So let me bring
Yeah,
the man who coined, who brought up what's it called? He coined
his
the
own.
indigenous looters
Yeah,
in
back on his
Liberia.
own phrase, oh my man.
Yeah, Francis Dunor, welcome, my brother. It's good to see you again. Thanks for accepting the Issues Room invitation. Tonight we have three bullets, but in terms of our trending news, I just wanted to throw this jab quick.
Yeah.
Because we have visited Ellen Johnson Sirleaf,
Oh wow.
okay, and that was sitting, and the environment kind of looked like she's in the jungle, like she's going in isolation. But the
Okay.
man still sought after her.
Yeah.
And what he went there for, from my perspective, is listen, Omar, this is the Yale election. The same way you handed it to me, I can't go by with all you telling me. And bless
I,
me.
I need your blessing.
And you know your protection is dependent upon me too, because if
Yeah.
you don't protect me, then the other six there, the jungle you hide in, they will find you. But that was the
Absolutely.
picture. Did you see the picture, Francis?
No, 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 no. Actually, like I said, I was listening to Bro Moses trying to describe your executive, but he himself is not even too far from you. I think he's more executive. I'm
Thank
so
you,
sorry.
President. President,
I,
that's the
so
issues room.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we get one of our local Liberian, song singers, right? Say everybody get your area. When it
Oh yeah,
is your
oh yeah,
area, it is your area. Nobody can take it from
Absolutely.
you.
oh yeah.
So you guys are like almost carry on some form of competition. I can see the nectar with the shot matching with each other, kind of. But you
That
just
President
forgive
will
me.
get you in.
You
The,
just
the, the,
forgive me tonight because
but the
I'm
truth
Yeah.
is,
still.
No, but you look good. You
yeah,
look
the
good,
No,
truth
no,
is,
no,
President.
no, no.
we can't
Look,
hold you
look.
guys
Let me tell
under
you.
your guest discussing. So
Let me tell you
You look
something.
good.
I
Yeah.
I know how the thing's supposed to be, but
Yeah.
tonight I'm not yet in my comfort zone. I'm saying in my corner, but I said I already accepted this invite, so I
Mhm.
gotta show up and do my contribution, especially the issues room. I want to learn some of those journalistic, you know, jargon analysis. You guys are not just Facebook people.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what you
mhm.
did for a living before even getting to this side of the world. All right.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
So
thank you for the
let
acknowledgement, and
yeah, yeah.
and we
So
appreciate that.
so I mean honestly the three bullet point tonight. I think it's something very serious, but the first one is super serious because
We're gonna get to it. I want us to discuss
mhm,
the optics of we are visiting Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. The Omar fell out. You remember when they lit the Christmas tree and the Omar said all this opulence and this
Yeah.
grandeur and stuff, and they came back and were hammering the Omar.
Yeah.
So
mhm,
both of them were in the corner. So at what point now he decided that the Omar means something, because people are saying that the fact that we are is now visiting Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, it cements the viewpoints of people who said that she handpicked him and delivered the country to him, because she led the country for 12 years, so she knew how to, make
mhm,
presidents.
Yeah.
She's a kingmaker. And with him now visiting her when we in the elections year, that's something to ponder. And so I thought to throw that out here. And I don't know why you guys haven't seen the picture, but she's sitting in a palava hut, and the surrounding is so jungle look like, trees hanging and long, the
Oh
the
wow.
rope that monkey can jump on in the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that the environment is somewhere like a jungle, and
Okay.
I'm not sure if that she was on vacation, or the people going into this econo lodge now go out
Yeah.
there just to enjoy nature, or whether it's a place, because I don't think the environment is a place on the near the FE, because she lives right across the road from the Invincible Park. So I
Okay.
don't think that environment looks like that, but I could be, uh, saying something that could be contrary. But just the setting of the photo, and she's sitting there, and he's sitting far away from her, and they're having that conversation. But what's the
Okay.
conversation about? And why is we are visiting Ellen in elections year? That's the thought process.
Well, I would say, honestly speaking, what a this year. is a year that many have do or die. 2023 will determine the future of Liberia. And what I would like to say to President Weah, no amount of visits with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf or any other African leader will help him, because the people of Liberia will assess or will determine whether to retain him as president or let him go based on his performance. His governance for the past 5 or more years will determine whether he goes back or not. It's like the three of us here. When you are hired at a new job, you got 90 days to demonstrate whether you have what it takes to do the job or not, right? And after that 90 days, your supervisors, the employers will sit and say, hey, he was required to do A, B, and Z. Where is he on that? And your supervisors, who having to be your immediate boss, will tell the people in top management that, yeah, the resume looks good, but since he has not been able to even measure up to 50%. Then management will say, well, he's not a good fit. They let you go. So what I'm simply saying here is that for all the years, Liberians have consistently monitored Mr. Weah's performance in every aspect of leadership. Communication, he's terrible at that. Supervision, he's terrible at that. I am told that for over a year now, he has not had a cabinet meeting. Job distribution, he's terrible at that. Most of the people who occupy prominent positions in Mr. Weah's government, he does not even know them. He does not engage with them. He doesn't care who is where and what is. So all of these things will determine whether the people of Liberia re-electing or not. No amount of visit with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf or going to see a pastor, Winker, to pray for you. Pastor Winker said this man was destined to be president of Liberia. All of those things were not helping. The people will look at his scorecard. I think he should be worried more about his scorecard than visiting people. That would be my personal assessment. I think it's just a waste of time. Yeah.
Francis, any 1 minute or 2 minute quick before we go into our major
Of course. You know, I look at the relationship between former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and the footballing president, the leader of the indigenous looters, to be similar relationship that existed between Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Charles Taylor. It is fake. It is not honest. It is a charade. And the reason I say this is simple. I have a booklet with the called Presidential Paper from Charles Taylor's Executive Mansion. Eddie made multiple visits at the Executive Mansion that was not published during Charles Taylor regime. From 1997, August 2nd, all the way prior to the intensification of Love Forces War. I brought that book to the United States. Close range conversation at the Executive Mansion. It is an open secret that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did not want her own vice president to succeed her because probably Joseph Walker not going to let everything go the way things are going. And if I didn't do anything wrong, Volcano, I should not be afraid of the police. But if I did something wrong, especially in American setting or Western, my registration is not right, my insurance is not up to date, you know what that means. Maybe my driver license expired. Then I got to know what's up. Somebody got to be driving me, or maybe I got to use somebody's car. But the point I'm making here is The way Brother Moses said it, that is what we practice here in America and the Western world. No country, except you tell me, that I have experience that sang a song, you came my mind, you came my power, will vote for you, and they did just that. And that history continue to creep on us. Sanction, no sanction, I will vote for you. And we see the very looters going to poor people, people who are living in abject poverty in those local communities. They are going there and they are telling us on camera that they will vote for them. And do not underestimate it. The last time on our show, I said Liberia has reached to a point where the voters now and folks that are asking them for their vote, they are doing something we call poultry politics. You get a buck of chicken in the cage and you give them food to eat every day. Anytime you want to drink pepper soup, you grab one and slaughter it and drink your pepper soup. That is what it is. Majority of the people, Liberian people, no disrespect to nobody, they are not like you and I, they call the intellectual class. But in the democratic setting, it doesn't matter though. Majority, whether the full majority, the intellectual majority, all that matter is majority numbers. That's it. Hopefully, this critical moment of our country, the Liberian people in their majority, they will not allow the past to creep on them. This time they will change the flavor to reflect your analysis. That everybody, including us here, whether you're in the group home, whether you're in the nursing home, whether you work in the factory, they don't really care about that. Even the president of the United States, your 90-day evaluation is key that determine whether you will stay on that job or you will not stay on that job. Simple as it is. But the Liberian setting is different. And the history can tell that clearly. Yesterday, the United States, in fact, the United States government is right now crippled. Why? They have bicameral legislative system. One house have not been able to attain a legal leadership. The 118 has turned over to 119, but the 119 does not have a leadership yet. Up to yesterday, they won 11 votes attempts to produce a speaker.
Mhm.
This morning, up to this point, Shelton, I didn't look at it, but 11 times. That will never happen in Liberia, considering our history. Because the Constitution says the speaker is elected once every 6 years. But Madam Sedi removed 3 speakers already by sending our tax dollar as a what, cash inducement to them. Just we are copy the same thing. That's why he gone for more consultation. They ain't got no forcing business. Joe Weir and Eddie Jennings, they ain't got no trouble. Zero. They ain't got no trouble. Just so you know. They're making it to appear like they got issue. She didn't give the government to him, or she didn't give the vote to him. No, she did. But they want to portray that they're forcing. They're not forcing. They are normal people, and they know exactly what they are doing. Hopefully, our people will carry on the analogies of Brother Moses so that Liberia can be rescued from these indigenous vampires. 2023, October 10th.
Thank you. So, gentlemen, quickly, let me just recognize Fergie Monyu. Good evening, Fergie. Can you please just share the word out there? We'd like to also encourage all of you to invite someone. Godwin Weirdo, good to see you, my brother. Welcome to the Issues Room. Raymond S. Clark, our regular friend and brother who's always here with us. We say good evening and welcome. Don't be quiet in the background. We'd like to hear from you. We'd like to acknowledge you. Rose Adwaji in Liberia, she's a very regular. We say congratulations for being a part of support to the Issues Room. We like your viewership from Liberia. Thomas Awaji, we're waiting for you. Rivers S. Pro, all of you wonderful people. We can't call all the names here tonight. Flomo Livingstone, we're looking out for you guys to show up. But listen, guys, Yesterday there was a press conference in Monrovia with the Inspector General of the National Police Force. Agassi, that's our man. Opa Dualu, welcome, my man. Welcome. Good to see you. We got to catch up. I called you the last time, but I didn't get you. So I guess you came back from Liberia and you were too busy gathering yourself. But we'll catch up. So the police director had a press conference, flanked by some of his important lieutenants. Moses Carter, the police spokesman who likes to take the center stage, set the tune, and the police director came there and fumbling over what they found to be ammunitions and arms in a bin. You know those bins that we use here for winter change of clothing and or
Yeah.
storage.
Yeah. Ship
Have,
it to
yeah, they had all
Africa.
kinds of weapons in there, and I'm sure uh, both of you have seen the video. No need to go to that video because it's a little too long.
Yeah.
I think it was a winded uh, position from the
News
police.
conference. Yeah.
It should have been very brief up to it and say, hey, no further detail, we're probing. Like, the American cops,
Yeah. Yeah.
they don't come divulging information because even what they did created a serious problem. Serious problem. Started to identify people and people started to accuse people because of the same name and
Yeah.
throwing pictures out there that was not actually, safe for people considering where we are. And Liberian man doesn't do his fact check and they start running after somebody and cut his
Yeah.
head off. But anyhow, you guys saw it. What do you make of this? Because right now, in any of the conversations you hold with people, people are pointing fingers at the government, people are pointing fingers at the opposition, people are, it's just all speculated. And we don't know how far this is going to go because Liberia is just one of those special cases. We get like a wildfire and all of a sudden it dissipates.
Yeah. Uh, I would just like to provide additional information on the arms and ammunition that were confiscated by the Liberian National Police and the Joint Security. According to the Daily Observer, the police and the Joint Security arrested 450 weapons. Included in those weapons were AK-47s, long range rifles, and other deadly weapons as well. According to the director of police so far, a Liberian who is based in Texas, simply referred to as Boy Benjamin Baker, is the alleged ringleader. The government claims that Mr. Baker is the one who uh, send or ship, I would say ship, the weapons and the ammunition to Liberia. And so right now in Liberia, according to the director of police, a lady referred to as Barbara Diba. She reportedly lives on the Oro. She and another female referred simply to as Mavina are being probed. Other people are also being investigated. Now, like you said, Volcano, we have two school of thoughts out there. First, I, like any of you, will receive this news or consider this news to be troubling because Liberia is preparing for a constitutional change in government, or Liberia is preparing for a democratic process, whether to retain or change in government. Now, you have a situation like this that takes us back to years of civil war. That's very troubling. So people are saying that this is not good for the peace and democratic process of Liberia. And other people are also, the conspiracy theory. Others are saying that, well, this could be the work of the very government. And that is not coming from Moses Sandy. It's not from Volcano, Shelton. It's not from Francis. But just from listening from other Liberians and reading posts here and there are people who are of the view that, this could be the making of the current administration. The only thing I can say is not to hastily draw a conclusion. Let's give the investigators the opportunity to go through the process. People who hold the view that this could be the work of insiders of the we administration, uh, 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 most of them are coming back from what we experienced yesteryears. You know what happened during the administration of the late President Samuel Kayando. Allegations were made against politicians. Fake coups were staged, with the sole purpose of going after perceived enemies. We saw that. That laid the basis for the Civil War. Okay? And now you have a situation like this. And, there are also other people who say that it could be true. It could be true that, yes, weapons and ammunition were shipped to Liberia, but, the people are angry. The people are angry with the current administration, and they think the only way out, because they feel overpowered, they feel overwhelmed, the only way out is to forcibly remove the administration. So let's just look at it, from the perspective. We have mixed reaction to the situation. So I would like to pause and give it to Francis.
Yeah, like first and foremost, I would want to make this disclaimer
Mm-hmm.
that in real time, I personally, as a Liberian, do not support anybody to carry on another armed conflict in a way of removing constitutionally elected government from power. We will use our own intellect, and our pen power, our constitutional right to speak out, and go to the ballot box. However, the government should be in the position to create for all of us the opportunity for a level playing field for us to compete in the space of idea and in the space of competition to sell ourselves to our people and let the people be given the opportunity to choose. Now, it is popularly noted by political philosophers that every country, every human being, and every organization must review their past. And the determination of the past, for the future, must be done in the present, considering our past. We have refused consistently to do that on the basis of collectivity, especially on the part of our government. I want to be super careful with this conversation because of the sensitive security nature, and considering where we came from 19 years ago. For the most part, if we combine everything, 2 years Judy Bryant, 12 years and 5 years George Weah, and also knowing fully well that the other components of our disarmament peace building process was not adhered to and was not implemented by United Nations, and the government is not making any request. The government is not doing anything towards that. Because of that, we have created again, either directly or indirectly, another group of people we call Zogos. So there are so many fragility if we were to describe our situation in Liberia in real time on the basis of conflict resolution management. Liberia actually does not have sustainable peace at this point because there are so many ingredients or catalysts that could just cause us to go back to where we came from, even just the behavior, the ugly behavior of the government, and coupled with huge unemployment. According to our population house, backed by United Nations Population Agency, Liberia is a youthful country, meaning the young people are between 65 to 70% of our population. And that very number that they're talking about, probably either 1 to 2% employed, and the rest of the people are not employed. Now you have a security system that is now a partisan security system. They are not able to handle any security situation in real time, evident by what we saw yesterday, without going into a partisan posture. It is troubling. But considering what other government did yesterday, for example, the late Samuel Kanyado Kanai playbook coming to watch Charles Taylor. We heard about the issue of Falazamita. We heard about the issue of General Kyompa. And at the end of the day, we know the result of that. We came to Charles Taylor where Francois Massacre and the rest of the guys got killed, but the helicopter pilot succeeded. We also had another situation where Joe T and the rest of the guys died at the airport. They said there was no light and they burned the helicopter. We know the result of that situation, that scenario. This is my own personal analysis and my own personal understanding, the way I look at the past based on the playbook of different governments. Let hold it constant, somebody got a bad intention. But we live in America, though. America is not a perfect society, but they try to be good all the time to do it better. Somebody will ship a container from America, according to the police, from Texas. But some of the very weapons.
Let's stop there. Let's make that clarification. We don't know the port of where it was
shipped from.
From. They're saying that the person probably whose name is attached to that container could be the guy called Baker. But why did Baker ship the container from Nicaragua? Why did Baker ship the container from Colombia?
Yes, So
what we're saying here, you're coming. What we're saying here, the police presented kind of a weak press conference. Put it that way. Let's call a spade a spade. They rushed to divulge a lot of information that they could have withheld. Just show the gun and say these are the kinds of weapons that was shipped, but we'll get back to you after we do more. So the point is, we don't know if the ammunitions and the weapons were shipped out of America. Just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah. So let's just hold it constant. Few weeks ago, according to the director of police and based on our public records, United States government intelligence assisted our national security apparatus, and they were able to arrest a cocaine that worth over 100 million. Few weeks later, we got these arms and ammunitions. Now, with the same help of the United States government, and we saw our police telling us and the criminal that they haven't found yet, the damage those weapons could cause and those ammunition if they landed in the wrong hands. So I see it more or less as, I don't want to blame anybody right now, but I don't think it is far away from some of those tactics that previous government carry on to instill fear in our people so they can keep them in power. Keep them in power. Because the reason I'm saying this, The Freeport is a government seat. Government, government fully deploy security, followed by our international partners that are helping us. How can somebody have a bad intention militarily and send weapon and they continue to Freeport? That's a question that nobody is answering.
So let me give you my own little 2 cents on this. Lately, and not even lately, but we know that for a fact that people are shipping personal weapons to Liberia. Some people are also shipping weapons to uh, higher ups in society. Um, and it's no secret. If they buy guns, maybe that would be legal, and they'll ship those guns through the barrel by concealing it in ways that when it gets to the free port, uh, then those people who on the receiving end are able to go there and take delivery of the weapons. Also, when you think about the fragility of peace and security in the country, the lack of the rule of law, could it be that people are asking people, listen, my man, if y'all can put some stuff in the container, send it, me, I'll pay for it, because my life is not safe here. I got Zogos hammering my house every day. At least when I nighttime, on fire one so that they can know that something on grounds. You know how we think, you know how we act. So somebody find it as a way to make money. And so they go on, and buy some guns from the gun shops, or however way they team those guns, and they take the risks, and they put it in a container and say, listen, if they catch it at A, if they catch it at A, how many times the people who smuggle things, their only hope is they shouldn't catch it, but if they
Take
catch it
risk.
at A,
Yeah.
right? So it's
Mhm.
risks, and they take that risk 50-50. So I'm thinking that way as well, because the president say, if you don't you want security to have your CCTV. Some people say, okay, but then it will not just be the CCTV. I want to go one step further. I want to have my own piece in the house. Every
Yeah.
evening, I fire one in the air, boah, so that people know that something here, the armed robber or the Zogo, all
They're
the
like
things
coming back.
make a mess,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and to be honest with you, I was just thinking that way. And some of the very high ups in society want to be protected. This is the election season. Everyone wants to. You hear Yaga Koluwa also telling you, say, it'll bring gun will fight with gun. It'll bring rock will fight with rock. So,
In a brisk stick before we
will
stick.
fight with stick. So what's going on in Liberia? You understand me? So I think the optics here is that it is not good for our elections here. It doesn't show it doesn't show that we at a place where we really want to have a democratic process, and whether it is the government teasing the public, and whether some claim oppositions trying to frighten the government, whatever it is, I don't think the timing is right, and I don't think it's even necessary for us to have this kind of consignment of weapon during our elections here. They had enough time to do all of that, and let's see where the probe will go. Let's see how much more the police can find, and what will be so rational report they'll put together that will hold, culprits and bring people to book. Now, what happens with those weapons? What are they going to do with it? Are they going to infuse it in the, you know, uh, police force? Are they going to infuse it in the drug enforcement agency? What is the serial numbers on those weapons? Where are some of those weapons made? There's a lot of what crimes some of those weapons have committed. Are those weapons illegal? So many things. So this should be a long process, and I thought they were just quick to rush out to the public. But again, in a government where people are not thinking, where they don't conglomerate to look at the ripple effect that a press conference of this nature will cause, and the alarm it will create. Justice Ministry, police director. Why is the justice minister not there when he is the boss of the police director? Think about it. Think about it. So why people just run with the news, bearers of news? And this government has so many bearers of news, so many spokespeople or spokespersons, and
Oh
that is
yeah.
why things continue to be all over the place. And I don't know how much they can repair this, because the guy who named the call that say he's going to turn himself over to the police, if he really means business, he can make a big case, because
But
it doesn't endanger him, it endanger his life, up to his family. And again, the whole press conference was a quick, irresponsible public charade.
yeah, and Volcano, just to piggyback on what you said, the gentleman who is being accused, another gentleman, I was monitoring a Spoon TV via Facebook yesterday evening, and the gentleman called and he said that the photo that was being paraded on Facebook is his photo, and the name being referenced as the ringleader is his name. And he said he lives in Minnesota. So he said when this story broke, I mean, his phone was inundated with phone calls. People from all over the place. So, oh, my man, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? So he said, as a peaceful person, he went to the police in Minnesota and reported himself. He said, hey, this is what the Liberian government has accused me of. My photo is being,
just to add to you, imagine how he not going to the police, and the
yeah.
police went for him. Who
But
knows?
yeah.
Turn off.
Mhm.
Because they could get a hint.
Yeah.
Like you
And
said, you got
and
this armed smuggler right in America. Imagine what that would mean for this guy.
yeah. And in fact, like you said, Volcano, that man said he has a family in Liberia. So do you know what or the risks or what could have happened to those people in Liberia? So you say when he reported himself, the police ran his background, all of that, and they just advised him to go home. And while they continue to monitor the situation, whether this information is true or not, let's give the police the opportunity to investigate and rather tell the people of Liberia what is happening. The optics is just not good.
Let me quickly put the icing on the cake, because we
Yeah.
want to not spend time on this. The police has never concluded any investigation.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Historically, in this weird government, the police have never been able. 3 missing boys, till the day they have not come back to tell the world their absolute findings and the closure on the case. Princess Copper the other day, okay, they what you call them?
The auditors.
The auditors.
Except they came and said it was carbon monoxide.
Mhm.
There are kids, bodies being found around the place. They can't find the killers, but they can find people who they presume ship arms in the country. So I don't know how much time we're going to wait and how much we're going to get as a result of the police, bringing a closure to this, who's going to be booked, and the impact they're going to have. But I just thought that we in a long haul, and sooner or later, Liberian people will forget about the arm. It will be like it never happened, and will be campaigning, will be running all over the place for something different, But I just thought to make that clear, because if you're going to be waiting for Liberian police, you're on your own. You might not get anything. This was just a flash, they flash it to you, say we got people trying to do this, so that they're preparing you. So if something happens, they can say, oh, we said it. We said it. And I would side with the two of you. It's not even necessary. Practically, when you think about the fact that nothing happened and these weapons were found, maybe keep it private. Do your behind the scene investigation, not to raise alarm in the public space. Nobody used the weapon. No threat to use the weapon. Or maybe you might find threat to use the weapon. But if you did a behind the scene forensic investigation, you probably will have had enough before you come to the public. It was great that you confiscated the weapons, but was it necessary? Maybe sometimes You have to slow down. How many of the investigation, when you watch forensic file, the people don't just run to the press because the press will distort the information from one place to the next. Oftentimes. So sometimes they keep it to themselves from the security perspective until they know they have enough before they come out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, again, like I said, everybody wants to be a news bearer in
Because
Liberia.
even I'm not cutting you off, kind of, even the police are turned into a political instrument.
Yeah.
And that is ugly for our country. But just to add to where you stop, like the EPS guy, Melvin Elliott, on the
Yeah.
tour in Nimba County with President Weah.
Mhm.
What happened to that?
Yeah.
Odell Sharma. What happened to that? The boy that were killed and mutilated on Christmas Eve at the barrack, BTC. What happened to that? So there are so many questions than answer though. You know, it is just hard for our people. Liberia have been really ugly, but under George, we will take the superlative degree of ugly. That is why it is. So
Ugliest.
Will it be,
That would be ugliest.
that's what I'm saying. But gentlemen,
Yeah.
quick, we are at the
But
intermission. Let me quickly remind our folks we're in the issues room. This is our 119th edition. Again, we're putting time to be here with you guys. We want to encourage you to join us. Continue to share the link, invite others to come in. Aman, Thomas, Ansu Dwalu, Raymond Clark, Fergie Monyu, all you wonderful guys. Thanks for coming through tonight. Gregory Stem out there in New England. We say welcome, my brother. Thank you for joining us here tonight. This is our 119th edition. As I said, we're here Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and midnight, particularly in Liberia. We encourage you to join us, to like us, to follow us. We're here every Tuesday and Friday. Again, Francis Dunor is here with us tonight as a discussant, Moses and myself, and we're discussing the just found and confiscated arms and ammunitions by the Liberian National Police Force in Liberia. They had a press conference and made a presentation and showed the weapon, but accordingly, the investigation is ongoing. We'll move to our next conversation, Moses.
Yeah. Volcano,
yeah,
quickly, man, if you mind, just before we transition, right? I just want to say this, like you guys and all Liberians, we all don't sanction this news. We are opposed to it. But I just want us to reflect a little bit. Studies over the year have shown that when people feel powerless, they feel that they are being treated like they are less of human beings, they become angry. And when they become angry and when they feel powerless, they begin to formulate what? Evil plans. And that's what happening into this Liberia. You remember 2 weeks ago, we brought a colleague who just came from Liberia. He said Liberia is sitting on quote unquote time bomb. Since Mr. Weah became president, the people of Liberia are being mistreated on a consistent basis. The government loots the nation's. Mr. Weah and his officials loot the resources of the country and they act like they're doing the people a favor. No rule of law. Healthcare underfunded, education underfunded. Every key sector of the society, no attention. To get employment in government, you need to be either a citizen or you have some connections. So all of these things, bad governance lay the basis for what? The formulation of evil plans. And please, don't get it wrong. I'm not saying that I sanction Volcano, does not sanction Francis, does not sanction what is happening. But I'm just looking at what could be some of the key causation of these problems. Bad governance. So Mr. Weah and his people need to take a closer look at themselves that, hey, what did we do when the auditors died? When I came and built 47 condominium on a shady condition, is that good governance? When people are being paid $45 a month, while other people are earning thousands of dollars that don't go to work, wouldn't that make people angry? Are these not conditions that lay the basis for the more than 14 years of civil war in Liberia, gentlemen? Let me wrap it there.
So let's move on. The elections is coming up October 10th this year. Um, when you think about the strides the country has made up to this point, and irrespective of everything we're talking about, the lack of rule of law, the lack of good governance, the profuse corruption in the country, the poor boys are getting rich who didn't have anything. And we can sit here and name millionaires, and we'll come to one of them who is a millionaire now, having used money that was not belonging to him, took the people money on the pretense that he was going to Liberia to build bridges and stuff, mismanaged the money or misappropriated the money to something that had nothing to do with what the money was intended for, because he was in an advantageous position. And we're talking Fonati Koffa, who will come to. But he laid a basis for him to be a millionaire. And today he's a millionaire, a real millionaire. So Liberia by standard have more millionaires in this weird government than in the Doe government, than in the Turbo government. I'm not kidding you. These boys are just looting. They're just taking everything. All because they're preparing themselves for the long run. What they fail to understand is that even for everything they're amassing and gaining, the right government can go after them because the records will be there. However, that can only happen if we have a free and fair elections. And even if we are one day elect the elections and become president for the next 6 years, it still doesn't mean that they'll go unpunished, especially the guys who became rich overnight. So, gentlemen, as we push for October 10, what is the climate right now from your perspective, ruling party, opposition party? You have followed what is trending. We know that we have only 2.5. Let's put it that way. 2.5 2.5 candidates.
Joseph Boakai, 1. Kumis, 2. Tewo Gongo, half.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 2.5 candidates. Please don't let my mentor I won't get versed with me. I'm begging you. I call on me. I want to tell you.
Tewo is a full candidate.
You say what?
Tewo is a full candidate.
Look, my man, when I say my 2.5, I name nobody. Like,
yeah. No offenses, please don't do that to the issues room.
Let me tell you own trouble. I said 2.5 candidates, right?
Yeah,
so we got 2.5 candidates going against an incumbent.
Yeah.
Who just made $92,000 free money. They made nothing. This is something that I got to work for a whole year and pay taxes all the way. I don't know that money we have got $2,000 every day in his pocket. He paid tax for it.
No tax.
I got to pay tax for a whole year. This man made it in 49 days.
Yep.
49 days for a country that is poverty-stricken. A country that is in the poorest state of form. And you have few people, and the people who went with him, they are merry-making. Colasco? What does Colasco bring to the table? What does Colasco bring to the table? Colasco?
Yeah.
I've never called his name, but I started to look, I'm asking myself, what does this guy bring to the table? What is he doing for Liberia?
He's a messenger, though.
Okay,
Just
the
an,
little
No,
boy.
I think
he's just an errand
maybe
boy. He's an
Yeah, the
errand
Aaron
boy
boy.
for George
And the Aaron boy
Weah.
living
Yes.
bigger than even my man. I tell him again right now. I tell him again. I tell him again is at the back of the line. The messenger boy is
Oh,
living
yeah,
bigger.
my man. Yeah, my man.
But
The
I'm
man is
saying these
out of the
things because
limb
I want to
life for
draw our
now.
attention to where
Yeah,
we're going.
an
So
errand
we have
boy.
an election coming up, and
Yeah.
I see the intellectual forums in all over Monrovia and the Leeward counties. And I see the seditions now. They say they're going back to the battlefront. They're going in the trenches and they're making the battle cries because they swear they're going to take this thing. But we have 2.5 candidates in the opposition. Are we ready for this change? Both sides, gentlemen. It's the country. Let's start with Francis Moses since you went
Yeah,
last.
yeah. Francis, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Are we
uh
ready? Really? The opposition, 2.5 candidates? 2.5. Oh. So if they put the 2.5 together, maybe it will be one round. But the way everybody want to, even the half want to be president. So I don't know how to do it.
to be honest with you, Volcano Mose and our audience, I like to speak based on election records. And the election records we got does not have any semblance of civilized group of people with a critical mindset to change their own feature at the ballot box. We do not have that. We got, as of today, every day I check it, we got 21 registered political parties today. Every single party, even if it is headed by half person or a Zugo, they're going to get some votes. And if we are still having these things stuck into our brain as Liberians, the opposition will come together to be just. We are no, they're not going to come together. But I'm of the strongest conviction opposition will come together if we go to the runoff, because it happened 3 times. 2005 we went to the runoff, 2011 we went to the runoff, 2017 we went to the runoff. And the fundamental reason for that is because every single political party in the race will pick up some votes. And according to our own statistics, we're about almost 5 million people. But even on the records, based on voter registration that our election commission had carried on from 2004 all the way coming to 2017, we are still under 2 million registered voters. So if you take into consideration the constitutional threshold of 50% plus 1 vote, it's a simple math that it will be extremely difficult with these proliferations of political parties for one candidate to take it 1 pound, the way Liberian people call it. George Weah CDC from 2005 all the way to 2007, prior to 2017, that means to 2011, they got their consistent 25 to 26% of the total votes. 2011, they brought in Councillor Winston Tottenham as a number 1 on the ticket of the CDC. That was the NDPL CDC arrangement. They still did not attain that number. Erin didn't get it, even though she was incumbent. We know the records. We came to 2017, those were go back number 1. This time, 3 political parties together called themselves Coalition for Democratic Change. They were able to attain 38-point-something% of the vote. They still could not get the constitutional threshold of 50% plus 1 vote. That is clear. Majority of us in the collective front, especially the young people, we thought because the trained medical doctor made a mistake and the baby died from the pregnant woman's stomach. So we will send our pregnant woman to a farmer who have never been to the hospital. However, this time around, the baby and the woman died because the farmer is not a medical doctor. So Liberia is at a crossroad, a critical moment for our country. Like somebody said, Liberia is not a hospital now and requires serious critical ICU kind of doctors to rescue the country. Okay.
What if I decided
So
to add? What if I decided to add that Liberia? It would be harsh, but the truth is, could turn into a graveyard. Since we're using analogies here tonight,
it just depends on your school of
I'm
thought.
being brutal.
It
Because
depends on your school of thought, but
Yeah.
I want to go with Brother Moses from his intro. I'm hoping though. I'm just hoping. But Liberia, it's hard to hope on them because there's no clear-cut yardstick scientifically that you will see them do things today and maybe tomorrow could be because of that. We don't have that. But looking at this, I call it like a dassica, reckless, useless, and insanity form of governance exhibited by Josh Weah. I think Liberians will change this time for the good. It's simple. This man and his indigenous looters have led the country for 5 years. Quote unquote, the Congo people led the country for 157 years prior to 1980. They did not do what Josh Weah and his people have done for the last 5 years. Imagine these people go for another 6 years. We'll have no country we call Liberia. Because this time around, constitutionally, there will now be eligible animal to go again. Makonde people call it kapu kapu. Because we ain't going back. So this one, we will take all.
We'll sweep everything.
It will be like the people came for dough, but they carry windows, they carry combo, they carry everything. That's how it's going to be. So to answer your question, Volcano, the level playing field has not been created yet. From all indication, the way we see it, even election commission, it almost appears that they don't exist. Election is a constitutional matter. Every 5 years, there must be election. In addition to by-elections in the making, maybe vacancy, or maybe as a result of death or other issues. Presidential and legislative election in Liberia is a constitutional matter. My question is, why election commission sat down and waited for the last minute to even come up with hiring a company to carry on biometric voter registration? Okay, considering the proximity of Liberia, considering the hard time, all the problems, including hunger associated with the people in rural Liberia, the voter registration was initially scheduled for almost 3 months. As I speak, that 3 months has been reduced to less than 2 months. It will be starting March 20, it will be ending May 11, according to the Election Commission.
Mm-hmm.
That is a trouble. However, the opposition political parties, they are not really throwing the alarm that you are not doing. It's almost like we're doing their job. The government now is trying to get us distorted and distracted by bringing AK-47, bazookas, bringing all these arms and ammunitions, and telling us, the people, the dangers of those ammunitions and weapons, so that we can let go this election matter. It is troubling. The road to 2023, we are already there, but we're not finally there yet, because October 10 is less than 10 months to come. It is not good for our country.
What's this?
But if, are you saying if? Maybe. If the level playing field is created, and election commission will be neutral and blind, I'm of the stronger conviction that George Weah will be the next Donald Trump in America, one-term president. And you know what? George Weah and Donald Trump got something in common. Donald Trump was never student council president ever in his school. He never was a city mayor. He never joined the military. He came from the base and became president, arrogant, and got an immigrant wife. George Weah, the same, they come from the football field. He could not succeed becoming LFA president, even though we made him senator, we made peace ambassador, and he gave him some money to quiet down the CDC brutal opposition, but still didn't learn anything. He has been president for 5 years. In real time, he has no practical on-the-job experience. And he also has an immigrant wife on the basis of our law. Claudia is an American Jamaican. She's not a Liberian, but she is now Liberian because she carried diplomatic passport, Liberian diplomatic passport. So that the commonality toward them got, and the one that going to add to that going to be one-term president.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
And
you.
I would like to come in.
That was a real good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Volcano, I would like to come in, but first I'll try to make this clarification. We are not in any way implying that it is the Liberian government that putting up this show as a means of intimidating the opposition in Liberia, because we don't have the evidence. The matter is being probed. All we can say, we condemn what is happening, and we hope that justice will prevail. We don't want to be judgmental to say government brought in the weapons and putting it out there, because when we are asked tomorrow, we'll not be able to authenticate that. So I just want us to be clear on that. Now, coming to the election, right? Francis, Volcano, you guys have said a lot.
Don't forget, opening the lines at 8:15.
Okay, and like I said earlier, 2023 will be a deciding moment. In fact, I shouldn't say will be, but it is in October 10th. October 10th, 2023 will be a deciding moment for Liberia.
You say you won't say will be, so it's a deciding moment.
Yeah, okay. It's a deciding moment. It's a deciding moment for the people of Liberia. It is on that date that the people of Liberia will decide whether the country thrives or remain what? Or stagnated.
Or
go
regress.
Down the hill.
You can stay stagnated, one spot, but you can regress.
Regress. And so that's something that our people need to begin to ponder on and rather put the interest of the country first. Now, as we prepare for the election, let's look at some of the flaws here. You have a commission that is considered compromised. You have a chair who is in bed with the chairman of the Liberal Party, who also runs a faction within the party. And there are other allegations against this woman. The ruling, the United Party, and other individuals.
Let me help you make that correction as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Stay with me on this.
Yeah. Sure.
In journalism, when we use the word in bed, it comes across as there's a good relationship. But this is not. No, hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is a female now and a man, so they're not in bed.
Okay.
They have a close relationship.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
No, I agree.
But in bed, from our point of view, it means that
they have some intimate relationship.
Once you're looking at a female and a male now, let balance it out. They're not in that kind of bed.
Yeah, I was speaking figuratively. I didn't mean intimacy, but it means that she has an inseparable relationship, with Mr. Belede. And it shouldn't be that way. The NDC is an integrity institution. That's why it runs contrary to the code of conduct. When any other commissioner to even receive a gift that costs more than $50, that would be a violation of the code of conduct of Liberia. That shouldn't happen. Volcano, you don't take gift. I don't take gift. If someone wants to give me a gift, that gift, the cost of that gift has to be less than $5. And I will not even take it because I don't want to be compromised. Francis, I'm sure you also don't take gift. That's how it goes. We don't.
I'm not talking about Moses. If you want to give me gift, you got to give it to my company.
Yes.
You know what to do with that.
Mm-hmm. We don't. So now coming back to the NEC, right? Election is October. Voter registration starts March the 20th. When will the campaigning process starts? When will voters' education starts? Volcano, given the way things are in our country, Liberia runs the risk of being faced with a constitutional crisis. This is very serious. This election, I hope the international community will support the we administration in showing that the election is held as scheduled. If not, Liberia runs the risk of having a constitutional crisis.
Well, Wilson, let me quickly say this, man. If this man
Yes.
can put $92,000 in his pocket, free money, just sit there, drink whatever, enjoy his son playing football, go
Mhm.
pass around. Who should be paying for Liberia's elections? The money's there.
Of
The
course,
money's there.
but Volcano, what you're seeing is another example of what they
Yeah.
call bad governance.
Why would we always just be begging for something when we got it? Other people, Colasco and building a concrete house. Colasco's own concrete house in 5 years.
But
Colasco, where has he worked?
have you seen the multiple
Where
homes being
Jefferson
erected
Koji
by
worked?
Finabondo?
Where
The
Fina
chief of
Bondo ever
protocol?
worked? Where has Nathaniel McGill worked?
Mhm.
Where has Samuel Toa worked? Where all these looters worked? That they must own state-of-the-art homes. Then not only that, they ride the best of cars and they have the biggest bank accounts you can think about.
Yeah.
Then the international community should pay for everything.
You know, I'm just saying for the democratic process to prevail, everything must be done to ensure that elections are held as
I have
scheduled.
worked for nearly 25 years in America, 25 years, educated. I had to climb through the ladders, and the ladder's still long. I ain't even go nowhere yet. You understand me? I better have a bank account. Then you got these people, they ain't got no skills from nowhere. They just jump. You got the praising and singing.
Yeah.
You tell me what the credentials these people have that they must be owning these kind of massive and wealth.
It's
in
sequence
5
sequence.
freaky years.
Well, man, don't you know sequence? Once you can say that
What
effectively,
is
you
that?
qualify
And
for employment.
you just got a poor, beautiful country with all the potential in the world just stagnant in 5 years.
Mhm.
Where do you think that's going to take you? Many of you will not even enjoy that wealth. I'm telling you,
No.
the pace at which people are dying, come on.
Yeah.
When you get ill-gotten wealth at the expense of the suffering people, you will not be around to enjoy. Go ask Charles Taylor where what they call them special forces, the one who are killing people all over the place. Where are they? Many of
Where
them
are they?
gone. Zero, dead.
No,
You know,
forget
so I
it.
don't want to come here because it bothers me, Francis and Moses. That emotionality has to come out because this is about our country, man. The country doesn't deserve this. Everybody can have a little piece of the pie. Everybody can have a little decent life to live. And the time I was growing up, I knew they say there was corruption, but at least it wasn't as bad as it is now.
For now, it is uncontrollable.
Yeah,
It has become a way of life.
Fortunate. Everybody's just getting rich. In 5 years?
It is a way of life now.
You tell me in 5 years.
In 5 years.
In 5 years, even in the great America, even the celebrities, those boys who sign NFL contracts, those boys who play in the NBA, some of these people can mesh up with them.
Yeah.
This is a shame. And anyone who support this kind of arrangement and want it for another 6 years, you're on your own.
Yeah. So for Volcano, you know, just coming back to this, right? The NEC is underperforming, is under-resourced. You know, how are they going to cover the entire country? And what they're doing, biometric system? Do you know what it means to go to VAUN to execute that? Where internet connectivity is a problem? You go to places in Grand Judah County, Nimba. How are they going to do that successfully?
But not only that, you know what they're doing?
No.
Do you know the tariff on data now in Liberia?
No.
Do you know how much it cost? You know how the people suffering? You even got customer service. You buy a minute before you can call, it already gone. Who you talk to?
Nobody?
My
Just
brother,
to
man.
add to that, my brother, the
You
last time
serious nonsense, man.
I
Serious
asked a
nonsense.
I asked a simple question to a
Yeah.
group of people on the show, right?
Mhm.
Human beings, for example, especially we Liberians here in America and Liberia. This was my question. How much do we
I'm
really
just gonna
need to
post the
live?
number, gentlemen. Let me just post the number.
Yeah.
I'll just post it if
Yeah, post the
anyone calls,
number.
fine.
Yeah.
Quickly, the number's posted 404-272-2808. Call to join the conversation. We'd like to hear from you. Go ahead, Francis.
How much do we really need to live? How much? Even here in America, in the midst of everything, a household of 5, 3 children, husband and wife, and making 6 figure is just okay. Normal living. But you see, like Volcano, you are talking, all the hustle we're going through, your intro was very fantastic. Almost got me to shed tears. You know why? Dr. Cassell, for example, may his soul rest in peace. And again, our deepest condolences to his family. He was just in Liberia this few days trying to be president.
Mhm.
Carry helicopter, and Joshua people say the helicopter can't land in Liberia. Where is Dr. Cassell today? Somebody told me he had a very beautiful place in New Jersey.
He
What?
lives in Pennsylvania. Yeah, yes, indeed. He has a very beautiful house.
Okay.
Very beautiful.
So
Yeah.
where is Dr. Cassell today? Liberia is a dominant Christian nation. But do we do Christianity when we leave the church? If we are doing Christianity and we living on the basis of the teachings of Jesus Christ and the Bible, then we shouldn't even find our place where we find ourselves. This is an individual I don't like to talk about, Carrasco. His real position is he's a bearer to George Weah. That is his position.
They said that
But
the man can arrange the man girlfriends and things.
leave that here. That is not official. But can you imagine?
As a Musa daughter said it.
Yeah, she said it. Yeah.
So what you
Yeah.
talking?
Can you imagine Carrasco and all got pistol on their side? What kind of security training he went to?
But so you see what I said when I said some of these guns are coming for the people in the so-called higher ups. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
the point here is, gentlemen, our country is in serious mess. And you think that they will use this occasion to fix it? I'm not sure. And that's my fear. I'm not sure. And every day you watch Facebook, when you see how the Liberian people act, you just give up the ghost. You just say, but wait a minute, these people, they ain't mean business. So let me just leave them. I told you, I said Ellen Johnson Sirleaf said Liberians are not worth dying for. I said Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. She said Liberians are not worth dying for.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that one of your presidents, what the other presidents say, there are 3 kinds of people in the world God created: the white man, the black man, and the Liberian man.
That's what Jimmy Carter said.
No, that's Charles Taylor.
Yeah.
Charles Taylor said that too. Okay.
So we're saying these things because these are the kinds of powerful statements made by people who work with Liberians, who led Liberians, and confused about Liberians. When your own president confused about you, then that's something not right. Now your president would say you're not worth dying for, but they got 3 kinds of people God created, and you're the 3rd group of those people. This is a serious matter.
It is.
And it's not getting better because the fear here, and we'll come next week to talk about the fear. Our at-risk youth, learning nothing, knowing nothing, improving to nothing, no job skills, and these are the people in the next decade will be in the 30s and 40s. What type of government is able to cater to that population? Gentlemen, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We haven't really gotten to the nitty-gritty and the intensity of Liberia's matters. Liberia's matters is so palpable, it's so incalculable that we haven't really got to it. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And people who are listening and watching and commenting, this is not ordinary. Our problem is beyond the ordinary. This is extraordinary depth of thinking, collective thought process as to how we can really manage the next 10 years. We're looking at this situation now of elections, but it doesn't even fix the problem. It's just a piece of the pie. Our problem is yet to come, and it's going to come from our young population that is ill prepared to take over the helm of leadership for our country. Because the pace at which people are dying, God forbid some of us won't be around. What Liberia will be. And that has been my fear. Let's take this caller quick. Flo J, good evening. Welcome to the Issues Room, my brother. Good to have you.
Thank you very much, my brothers in studio. Another great evening and great discussion about Liberia, the motherland.
Thank you.
I'd like to touch on the issue concerning the armed situation in Monrovia. I like what you guys said. You put it rightly. It's unfortunately that we have a bunch of inept individuals in government, especially within the security apparatus, who don't understand how to run the security apparatus in Liberia. As you rightly stated, I am in support of your contribution in regard to your introspection about how the armed situation should have been handled. I think the police should have an investigatory team set up. And since this was something that involved, I would say, a caliber machine gun or heavy machinery, military equipment, the military should have gotten involved. The investigatory teams of the military should have gotten involved. They should have formed a joint investigatory team involving the police and the military, and they should have done their investigation, gather information, talk to witnesses, understand why the arms were brought into the country, and who imported those arms into the country, and gather as much evidence, and then also look at the variance. The variance in respect to the laws of the land. Was there a violation of the arms being imported into the country? And if they came to a conclusion after the investigation and they noticed that, yes, there is an alleged situation of a crime being committed, it should have been submitted to the Justice Department, do it in consultation with the Justice Minister, review all the evidence, and then determine whether those involved should be charged or charges should be brought against whoever was involved into the situation. Unfortunately, it just showed the immaturity and show, that yes, you got a bunch of unqualified, as I say, inept individuals who are not skillful enough, who don't understand how to run government and run the security apparatus, jumping the gun and coming to the public and releasing information concerning the discovery of arms without gathering facts. It's sad, especially in the 21st century, to see a whole nation security apparatus, being run in such a manner. It's very disgracing. It's a very sad situation for us. Unfortunately, that is where we find our fault. To the election situation, yes, are we prepared? Unfortunately, I don't think we are prepared. I don't think the opposition is prepared to replace the incumbent, and also I don't think our people are ready for election. Let me say this, the Pericles of Athens said this, and I read this when I was in grade school in St. Patrick. Pericles said that in a nation where most of the people are impoverished and illiterate and uneducated, it is impossible for democracy to take a course. It's becoming an evidence before my eyes. I'm seeing the reality of Pericles' statement that he made. And I think Liberia found herself in that kind of situation. It's unfortunate that our predecessors, who were given the opportunity, who had the privilege to run government. They didn't do extremely well in preparing the Liberian society to become a democratic society where people were educated to understand election and understand the importance of going to election and voting for the right candidate. And that brought issues over the years when it comes to selecting the candidate. People don't understand who they need to select before they can go to the ballot box to vote. And the opposition have not done well. Our so-called political leader haven't done well to educate the Liberian people. It has 6 years to do so. Educate the Liberian people, make them to understand the importance of electing a right candidate and identify those issues in society and how can we resolve those issues, identify the different failure modes and the different corrective action to address them, and what it would take to address these situations and things, and the reason why SYZ must be voted. Unfortunately, the thing have not been done. Looking at the future of, in conclusion, let me say this. Looking at the future of Liberia, I'm sorry, I'm taking a lot of time, but looking at the future of Liberia, okay, it's hard to say this, Moses and Francis. I don't think we have a future. The reason why I say we don't have a future, because you can only have a future if you are prepared to have a successful future. You have not prepared yourself to have a successful future in a sense. You have not breed leaders that will replace even the current generation. You have not laid the groundwork. You have not carried the initiated that later on will germinate and flourish into a booming future for Liberia. Unfortunately, because we have not done those things, there are a lot of things we can talk about. I don't want to take much time, but looking at that futuristically, we don't have a bright future. It's hard to say so.
Thank you, Bloja.
Thank you.
And let me just quickly say this, and before any one of you can chime in, President Talbot came to power. He created an opportunity for many of the young people to travel abroad, to get degrees across the world, mainly in the Socialist Republic. There were guys who went to Romania, to Russia, to Czechoslovakia at the time when it was one country. And a lot of these guys came back to Liberia and they were infused in the society. Some of the likes of these young people who were educated and became leaders in the country, Maurice Duclé, you know, the Buya who passed away, the Lamini Warity, their generation took the hymn of leadership. You know, I can go on naming a lot of these folks, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is that succession? What is that succession of passing the torch on to this current 1990 to 2023 generation? Where is it at? Except make them battle criers, except make them sit except make them sit at the so-called intellectual forum and be spectators, and then give them a little a snap of what you call ataye, except make them pimping boys, except make them keke riders.
The people are wasting, man.
Push, man. The push. You know the push?
I know.
Except make them coal bundles, except make them zogos, mental health patients. This is Liberia. This is the Liberia we want to transition. This is Liberia that we have not prepared. And I'm telling you, our problem is beyond calculation. This is just the tip of the iceberg. These elections, even whoever comes to power, will not fix the problem. It's a 10-year to 20-year running problem. River says, Pro, come here, come, bring it on. Bring it on, my man. Come on. Bro.
Yeah,
you live, man. Because you know whose side you on, but now you will tell me who you on.
No, he on the side of the CDC. That we are brother.
You gotta be on the side of the issues room tonight.
Yeah, I know, but also I want to solve the Liberian people in the issue room, but you see, I believe in a democratic process. I want the process to prevail, you know. And one thing, thank you, brother. For example, a very smart guy, very intellectually. I didn't even know that Ellie was the one that appointed our election commissioner. Thanks to brother Francis, very knowledgeable. So my question has to do with the opposition have had big wins on this election commissioner and the commission when it comes to the senatorial race. All of a sudden, and I know one thing I'm getting credit. I don't care what people say about Omar. But Omar always had the right people in the right place, not like George Brown collecting people here and there. Then I believe her appointment of that election commissioner was strategic, but I trusted Ellie appointment. Ellie did not have a lot of controversial numbers. So all of a sudden now, why is all this fear moving? There is no electoral process around the world that is unique, that is complete. We saw the Al and George Bush thing and even this whole Donald Trump one. Not trying to justify anything, but I want us to, the commissioner, to give the logistics, to give the media support to the election commissioner. So let us look at the process and let the process work instead of us doubting, oh yeah, up to now, well, she's not trusted, but you were trusted when you have all these big wins. So why can't we trust them?
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Are you saying that Ellie appointed Devera Brown Lansana?
That's why paraphrasing, I hope I'm not getting wrong. Paraphrasing something to that effect that
No,
she was on the she became chairman during Owia's presidency.
Matter of fact, hold on, let me clarify quickly. She was one of the deputy commissioners.
Okay.
Yes. Matter of fact, she was actually, her position was the chief spokesperson for the elections commission. She was not even a commissioner at the time. Then I think she rose to one of the commissioners and then appointed by George Weah. She passed the confirmation hearing under Weah's Senate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just want to allow the process.
No, I can't say clarify.
You were coming.
Everybody coming in with, for lingo, Musa Peleke, and other people were protesting. And when I listen to comments coming out of different people, comments said they should support us, we support the process. So there were two different sides of the coin. Dylan wanted to step down and go through. But then, a comment said, no, let's retain this. Let's retain that. Let's get into logistics. Let's look at it. Even the United States ambassador, they came in with transparency and other things. So I just want us to let this process work. Like I said, for the sake of the Liberian people, not to be partisan or not anything, but just, so we don't have any kind of going up and down on the election. That's just my point, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Roses Pro. Thank you. Gentlemen, I think the truth here is that our elections means the world, and this year is critical for the country. And again, I want to say this, and then the two of you can come in 2 minutes so we can move to our last bullet. Whether we are wins, whether the opposition win, it doesn't fix the problem, because the problem has generated and degenerated to a point where it's now what we call cancerous. But this cancer can be dealt with by chemotherapy or laser therapy, because the advance now is laser therapy. But it has to be state of the art chemotherapy and state of the art laser therapy. Liberia's problem now is cancerous, from the lack of rule of law to the prestigious amount of corruption. I use the word prestigious because nobody cares. So it's so prestigious.
It become a way of life now.
If you're not corrupt, and you're not building the big houses, and you're not riding $90,000 car, then you're not in the prestigious class.
No, they say, my man, they didn't do anything, my man, for Canada. Just I help you out. They say, well, I man do nothing, man. Because you never build a big house. Yeah.
But the people said, Bomakba was stupid. Weton Sagawolo was stupid. Can you imagine the Papine was just state council man, but they wanted the Papine to steal all of this more interim money. You hear me? So they say, Weton Sagawolo Dapo, David Bomakba, he was poor on what they call the play Park Hill. They said, Dapo. But Liberian men can create own death. You understand me? Own problem. So the point I'm driving quickly is that our problem, this election is not going to fix it, because it has degenerated into a cancerous state. I think what we should be thinking about is, how do we project into the next 10 to 20 years, a decade to a score, before we can see something. And I don't know how many of us will be around, but all we can pray for is long life and good health. That's my fear. I would love to see the Liberia that I grew up under return, even though it was not exceptional, but it was exceptional because I had good upbringing. I respected the older people around me. I had a community that was inclusive. I had a community that cared. We did not live in isolation. If I did wrong out there in the street, somebody would chastise me, and when I come home, I get chastised. The competition was about going to school and being academically ready for the future. The little play we play with respect. We didn't have to go out there to fetch for living, like it's happening now. Even if you did that with pride, and you did that with respect, and you did that putting your energy into it and being a decent human being. What we have now is crazy chaos, especially for our young people. The amount of drug being used now with the young people never happened in Liberia. Never in our time before the war. So it's a serious problem. Go ahead, Francis or Moses.
Before I go further with my 2 minutes, I just want to clarify something from Riverside Pro. I made an analysis on our bracket talk show. David Ethel Lassana Brown, based on Ellen Johnson's study on Google at the time when she was president, especially critical and anti-graft institutions, appointments, she would throw it out there to opposition to do some selection, including civil society. So at the time, CDC was the brutal opposition. CDC selected David Ethel Lassana Brown as their own person for the president to look in there and do her appointment. And she got lucky. So Madam Sadi appointed her at the level election commission. Her chairperson position was done by George Weah, but she was already at the commission as one of the oldest. Yeah, as one of the oldest commissioners. But it looks like my brother River said they didn't get that part right. And from all indication, based on our own resource information, you people are journalists. I'm a political scientist. You are loving the George Weah.
Oh, my man,
you are loving the George Weah, and that influenced our selection. Okay. Number one. Number two, only in Liberia these things can happen. And that's why Sereno Sifa, Nathaniel McGill, and Bekugbe number two, I don't feel for them. I don't even share their emotion. Because you cannot go to power and already what 10, 15 million in less than 5 years. And America come out with it, and you are even kind of like trying to do more. Like you will stay in government. You don't really care. Okay. This woman got Amazon thermometer through her brother agency or contractor, made her brother contractor on behalf of Election Commission. And they sold this thermometer to Election Commission with our tax data, almost $1 million, something that didn't worth that money. The very George Weah government, under the watch of this human right, over 30 years record human right, Musa Dean, bared to George Weah, they indicted her, prosecuted by Sereno Sifa. What happened? What did happen? Case dismissed without prejudice. Who stole her bond? It was Musa Belede. How can this man be in battle political party chairman that you regulate, all right, with his own political leader, and you are presiding over that matter by law, by statute, and the man stole your bond to get you out of court?
Too much drama, my man.
That was the analysis I made on our show. So in real time, if Liberia was not Banana Republic with indigenous looters, David Ethel Lassana Brown should not even be chairperson of that election commission. She had already lost the appetite and the ingredient of ethics. She should not be there. Yes, and that's a valid point.
Mm-hmm.
That's
conflict
a valid
interest.
Point. Conflict of interest right there. But let that go. Like, you read it, Volcano. Liberia was not so great when I started going to elementary school in Bolahum Mission, Lofa County. Okay? You will not become class prefect if you don't score the grade. That's the first thing. You fail your test, you're going to break rule. Not just that you will break rule for your teacher for maker, you will bring it on devotion. And everybody will see it. Doing multiplication, you fail, they're not teacher beating you. That your friend that get it, that the one will beat you right here. That's how it was.
Yeah,
you do it right here. It was a good training. It was a good training. You misbehave at home, your parents will bring you on campus and they will discipline you right there. That Liberia does not exist today.
So that means when your little girlfriend see you now,
then you're on your own. You're on your own.
They bring you on campus and 25 you.
People will shame you, man.
Can you imagine? They're not even on your average. Bola home nation. See, Agnes, you get one red any part of your grade. They're not your how to call it, sponsor for your class going to call you. It is the principal that going to call you. What's going on? Okay? So everything was about morality, caring for each other, and being academia to get to the next part. But since the walking, the bad people took over. Everybody, if you don't do bad, you are not a good person. And you don't succeed too. And that is the reasons why. That is the reason.
Are the bad people then that didn't take the education serious?
Of course.
That the one that are in power.
That the one that in power now. Those of us that struggle to get the small education we got, we're not even a quality education. Some of us, because you're there, the people come with AK-47, they're chasing you. Well, what kind of book is that? But we said give God the glory that we're able to do what we did based on the available resources. Okay? But the point here is we cannot continue this path. The philosopher said, not where you fell, but how much effort you made to wake up and keep going. And that's the reasons why I follow these motivational speakers and civil rights activists like Martin Luther King. One of his last speeches said, everybody must do something. If you can't run, you should walk. If you can't walk, you should crawl. But Liberia is not there.
Okay.
This level of insanity is not easy. How can we go to a successful biometric voter registration? Successful biometric voter registration when the statutory authority authorized to do that job is not even carry on voter registration awareness education. For a country like Liberia, majority of the people do not even understand what they speak. They don't. No disrespect to them. When you go to my home in Kolahun district, Lofa County, Poparahun, you know how long it's going to take it to educate my old man how to do that? You know how long it's going to take it? You know how long it's going to take it to get to get to Pembalahun? You know how long it's going to take it to get to Bondowalahun? You know how long it's going to take it to get to Kalahun Lukasu? They are take-off forest over there that they rain for. You can't even touch a volcano. I'm telling you, real story. Born and raised there. There are people, election commission will not even carry those centers in that bush. That we have some of the area will be 4 to 5 hours to walk there.
No.
Now you are not even started in Morovia. And you know, I listen to River say most of the time he called on our show. I don't have no issue with individuals who support Joshua on the basis of fundamental rights under our constitutional framework. It is your right. But guess what? Where your own stop, somebody who begins from that.
That's true.
If you say Carrasco does not require training to carry firearm, doesn't need to have firearm beyond the president. When the president already has authorized authority of personnel.
You're right. The man is protected.
Okay? Personnel that carry firearm, long range, EPS. Do you have other civilians in the convoy of the president and a part of the war that carry firearm? Besides the security people? This thing we do here in America under the Second Amendment does not work in many countries.
Mm-hmm.
I can buy as many as guns that I want to buy, ammunition, and put it in my house under the Second Amendment. I can do it. But can I transport it out of this country? I don't know.
You can't even cross another state line with it.
I need to research that.
Yeah.
Because every state got different law.
That's true.
I brought my driver license from Pennsylvania to North Dakota. They said, no, you got to change it. They give you 90 days. Your license plate and driver license. When you got North Dakota driver license, Minnesota license plate for whatever, and Montana, these are tri-state in this area, and South Dakota, you are good. They still will not require you to change it. But as long as you can't outside this terrain, you got to change it.
Okay.
But, my brother, we just hope for the better. We just hope for the better, but Election Commission is not in the better position. And guess what? Just to add this quickly. The commissioners themselves are divided. You saw them on camera when they went to the house, or I think what
they faced the standing committee on election.
So we agree, but hold a minute, that is a body, and our sister and you're sorry. I don't know how they can play out. Why they got so many women on the commission?
Anyway, no.
That's a legitimate question. The issue of gender definition should not only be women or one gender. Should not only be men. Why almost 95% women? Why? And that's why they disagree with each other.
That's the configuration of the new commission.
That's the configuration of the new commission.
That would be a different discussion for that.
Yeah, but we can tie it to mobile Molu. We'll leave it right there. Let's leave it right there. We'll tie it to
Let's leave it
there. But gentlemen, let's quickly wrap up on Fonati Koffa.
But before we wrap up
we
there,
have time though. We can go back. It's only 13 minutes we got. We're leaving here at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's kick it off on Fonati Koffa.
Yeah, we leaving here at 9 o'clock, man. I'm begging you.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
We gotta respect time. So quickly, man, as I was saying, Jonathan Fonati Koffa is the deputy speaker in the Liberian House of Representatives. I believe he's representing one of the districts in Grand Creek County.
District number 2 in Grand Creek County.
Fonati is people who know him say he's a fine lawyer. He lived here and worked here in the U.S., but he had a run-in with the law in North Carolina, particularly the city of Raleigh, which is the capital city of North Carolina, where he served, I think, in the capacity of city manager or something for.
He was town manager.
Huh?
He was the Zebulon town manager.
That's what I mean. City manager. That's the title when you study public administration.
Okay.
Yeah. But then he got a little tangle with some money's issue, almost in the tune of $500,000. That accordingly, once it came out, the money was misappropriated, was used by him, but he claimed on humanitarian purpose. That was the defense from his defense lawyer. The monies was used to build bridges and to build road in his native country, Liberia. But if you think about it from that perspective, then the guy was paving the way for what it is now, to be a millionaire. And I tell you, if you go on the rehab road, opposite George Weah House is Fonati's house. Fonati has a better house than George Weah House. I'm not kidding. It's right there on the road. You know what they call fern? Fern is a plant, is a tree like. That's part of the guy's flowers or so in his yard. Gorgeous, perfect, beautiful, clean, white house. You understand me? But I just throw this out here so we can close it up here. This organization called Reputable, all right? Pool International, RPI. No head, no tail, because you looked it up, I looked it up, and they only say that there's some strategic consultancy that consult with businesses to give them, kind of leeway in terms of how to do integrity business. However, they came out with 100 people. Now, I think the ranking has nothing to do with actually the ranking, the 36. I think front page
Yeah.
Africa, because they
No, the ranking
alphabetical
matters.
order. No, the ranking
Fonati
doesn't.
is 36.
The ranking doesn't matter. I'm trying to tell you now.
Oh,
I
okay.
went. I went further in the research. They did
Oh,
it in
okay.
alphabetical order,
Oh, okay.
so it was not based on ranking. But
Mhm.
front page Africa may have just seen him being at number 36 and
Yeah.
assumed,
Yeah.
because how can Fonati be well ranked over Lehman Bowie, who is a Nobel Peace Prize? Just
Yeah.
think about it loudly like that. But yeah,
Mhm.
so it had to do with the alphabetical orders of the way the names went. And so he became number 36. But according to the two people representing Liberia in this um, award, Fonati and Lehman Bowie, and Fonati is considered a man of integrity amongst 100 people on the continent of Africa. Now, I'll give the both of you who know a little background of Fonati, especially Moses. I know you've kind of done your research. Just
Yeah.
come here and open up the can of worms. Let's talk about it, because these are the kinds of things. It doesn't go well for me,
Mhm.
when front page Africa will run with this without doing a decent job, in-depth, analysis of it, and to give it publicity, because some things you don't give publicity to, especially when you can't defend it. And that's the purview I'm coming from. So come in, Moses.
Yeah. So, I would like to start on this note of Volcano. In journalism, there's a common saying that the medium is the message. So it means that if the messenger is terrible, obviously the message is not credible, right? So let's begin by looking at this international, quote unquote, international group that refer to itself as Reputation Poor International Limited. Like you said, Volcano. In preparation for this show, when the story broke that this group, this so-called group, uh, selected 100 Africans and referred to them as reputable people. And the deputy speaker, Fonati Koffa, who is a former felon, a convicted felon, you know, was named as one of Africa's reputable person.
And
I
with integrity.
decided, yeah, I decided to look at the organization. And my research shows that this group only exists in name. There's nowhere in the world that you can trace the group called Reputation Poor International Limited to. Nowhere. No leadership. No address, no contact number. The only information you will see out there is that they have a Gmail account, which I can even sit right here in my house and create. You can do the same thing, for instance, for Canada. Everyone else can create that in split second. This group is unknown. It doesn't exist. And our deputy speaker say he's a smart man, but he allowed himself to be exploited by criminals, and that made the situation worse. To be referred to as a reputable person on the African continent. Let's look at the word reputation. When somebody is reputable, what does that mean?
But you're also missing the word integrity as well.
Yeah, integrity, a man of integrity,
Yeah.
a reputable man, a man of integrity. What does that mean? When somebody is being referred to as reputable, it means the person is trustworthy. The person is upright. Even when people are not looking, the person does the right thing. The person is sincere. The person has a reputation. The person is honored for doing the right thing. When we speak of integrity, that's what we're talking about. Doing the right thing at all times. So now let's trace it to Fonati Koffa. If you look at the word reputation, then it means that our deputy speaker does not fall in that category. He does not meet any of those standards. Fonati Koffa has no public reputation that deserves to be honored. He's a thief. He's a known thief.
And convicted too.
Yeah, in the early 2000s, when he lived in North Carolina, the Volcano said, Mr. Koffa embezzled $500,000 from clients. He's a very trained lawyer. He's a very smart lawyer. He was convicted in the United States. He served more than 2 years in prison. He was fined. He's barred from practicing law in Liberia. How can someone who claims to be quote-unquote reputable cannot practice his own legal profession in the United States? He went to law school here. You can tie Fonati Koffa today and bring him to America. He cannot stand before any court in the United States to practice. He's bad. It is only in Liberia. So you see how people commit crime and they go to Liberia, they become hero overnight?
And call some of those people name, my man. Let muddy the water small. I know you got some of those. No, hold on. Let me get it. Let me get it to
you.
Yeah, that Francis, call some of the name that did bad thing here and are they enjoying like in today's Liberia. Call some of the name.
I'll call that name.
Just
Okay,
call it.
Let me tell you something. Sometimes when we do it, especially on our show, and when I was even going to school, University of Liberia, they say we are radicals.
Yeah.
Liberians don't like the truth, and they don't like open-minded people because they do not accept the truth.
Right.
And that is who we are. So Kedakumo Murray was deported out of this country. He went to Liberia. He became a university professor, philosophy, right? I was at university when he went.
Yeah, Ketakura.
Bava Chima, academic issue.
But he only was in university, man, went in the house.
Yeah, he was also in the house. Yeah.
That was CDC so say with 3 babies. One to City Hall, 2 Suite, and 24 Suite. I live over there.
Yeah.
We campaign against him, but just we have put his hand up. So he won. But guess what? He became committee chair on executive.
Yeah.
What happened? Why did it happen? He and we couldn't continue. Then he crossed carpet to Omar Eddie. Now he went back, he didn't win again.
Yeah.
Banker Seminary gave him spot. Okay? You look at Buffer Chima, for example. He was a critical voice during Ellington, right?
Yeah.
Who he is now? He's the one stopping Yaka Koba from speaking on the floor. Just boy.
But what?
He was deported.
Who now?
Just bully.
Where your man did? Your man.
We're looking at the crimes that these guys committed abroad.
No. But Buffer Chima, why he no problem?
Academic fraud.
I didn't go too far by associated with
academic fraud.
And they said,
somebody worked.
Yeah.
Somebody worked on their own stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody did their own school thing and went and grabbed the person and put it on himself.
So,
Francis, hold on.
Yeah.
They said,
I said, we tell you, man.
Hey, my man, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Francis?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I said, they said, I'm not only Nina Buffer Chimos.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
degree. I'm coming. I want to understand at a degree. I didn't need on a degree he took, and he called himself Doctor Bubba Chima.
Yeah,
that's what.
Doctor, yeah.
That's the information that is out there.
My brother.
Let me give you another. Let me give you 2 more people. Right?
I need to make a case. One of my people said, like, brother, flow rag. Anybody can just tell like brother, just web the phone.
Yeah.
Brother, my man when you can't. They look like.
That's also jokers, my man. Yeah, go ahead, Francis.
Dr.
Francis,
Soma
go ahead.
Go
Pega, I
ahead,
don't know whether
Francis.
he's
We're
still
listening
living.
to you.
So-called Dr. Soma Pega was at University of Liberia. You know who
You
booked him
jump
out?
again.
It was
You
Dr.
are the
Hassan
top bully.
Conte.
Yeah.
I mean, you jumping.
He had no doctorate degree.
Hey, bye. Francis.
Are you guys getting me?
No,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are.
You started with George Bully. You left George Bully. What happened to George Bully?
Job Bole, America said they may expire with tie with him. They throw him to Liberia. The man go to Grand Jury, the main representative. And the man is in the house making law for us.
Yeah.
America said they may still ratting. We don't even need to pour him in jail to give him food to eat. Just go. You free. Go. We made a man representative.
Yeah.
Okay. Blamo nursing. Under AA, the man was teaching public instruction. Are you guys all Liberia? Who booking? It was Dr. Arthur Contact.
Hey, he's the ambassador to Japan.
But
Oh,
what's about
yeah,
this other
because-
guy, right? Jermaine, what's about this? I think you heard about this guy, Kimon, right? The gentleman that was in Liberia, it is being alleged that he had some close relationship with our current vice president. You
That
heard
Joel
about
was
Kimon,
the old boyfriend.
who
that
committed
Joel was the
crime
old
in the
boyfriend,
United
yes.
States, and the U.S. government had to bring him here to serve time. Liberia by
The
those
man
kind
was
of people.
being. Yeah,
Mhm.
let me give you a small story because I got tip of that story, right? Cameroon was
Yeah.
being chased by police, and luckily for him, he and Joel were in the same car. And Joel was senior senator of Bon County.
Yeah.
And Joel got out of the car to defend her boyfriend against the Liberian National Police. And started knocking her chest. You know, a senator, a senior senator, that's my friend. Oh, yes. So, I mean, we can sit here and name all these. Look, that man was on campus. I think he was vice president for some kind of fiscal whatsoever management, the academic, I don't know.
They
So,
brought
my
him
big
back.
guy went, let me tell you something. When Dr. Hassan Conte took over the University of Liberia, he requested that everybody reapply. And guess what? Some people just walk away. Even Ben Robert. Chancellor Ben Robert did not have any PhD and became University of Liberia president.
Yeah.
Ben Robert.
Mhm.
So that country, like, you know, Senator Dillon said the country was in the separating. But then I think separating now that understatement because when they're doing it, everything can actually go. But I think it's in the combo.
So
But
The
Moses,
country is in the combo.
yeah,
Moses,
quickly of
Moses.
Jermaine, yeah, just give me a chance.
Yeah.
Let me wrap it up quickly on
yeah, because
Mr. Koffa, representative or deputy
Yeah.
speaker Koffa, right?
yeah, because I was going to say that it's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we press, yeah. So the issues room want to throw this challenge to the deputy speaker. Can he practice law in the United States? If he's reputable, he should be teaching at one of the top universities. Law. He's a very brilliant lawyer. If the paper, if this guy had published that, yes, the deputy speaker is trying to recreate his image, we will sympathize with him. You know, that would be understandable. But to be referred to as a reputable person on the African continent?
But listen now, Moses, and that's what I wanted to share with you.
Yes.
That's the man who went to Liberia recently and now he's in the limelight of politics.
Mhm.
But see how much money he has now
Yeah.
and see his home
Mhm.
in 5 years under this
Yeah.
arrangement.
Yeah.
How reputable? What's the integrity here?
Yeah.
And what they fail to realize, the world has gotten to be a global community speaking with one language. And that language, the medium for that language is what we consider social media. All of the things that we're talking about here, a lot of these people who have gone under the carpet of darkness,
Yeah.
under the canopy of darkness. You understand me?
Mhm.
Social media is exposing them because I can sit right here and pick up my gadget and I research anything.
But
if
maybe,
I find some of
Volcano, you can still rent your bedroom and just
if I
use
find
this.
some of the stuff and based on my sixth sense, I can discern whether it makes sense or not, or I can
Yeah.
continue to research further until I find something that is relevant.
Yeah.
But this is the age, and this is the time. And so nothing you can do now, you don't run the risk of being exposed. And that's why people need to be extremely careful because of our age and time. So Fonati should have probably not even allowed Front Page Africa to carry that story. I'm sure the guys went to him and said, my man, yeah, the DL, he get in Kato and they ran running with it and made it a big headlines. But honestly, sometimes you just need to be quiet
be quiet.
and just go about your business rather than trying to be in the limelight. But gentlemen, let's give our parting words. We've passed the mark. It's 9:06, and I like to wrap up here by 9:10. So watch your gadget and just go with your parting words. We cover grounds, and
We
I think
did.
the conversation was good
Yeah.
tonight. Let's hear from you, Francis.
I mean, again, I want to say a big thank you to you guys in the issues room. I appreciate the invite, and I will always be on the lookout to get many more to come.
Thank you so much for
We got to
accepting our
we have to continue to push our cartoons according to dismiss Deputy Minister Fagon. But the good news is we have opportunity to push cartoon and get paid.
But hold on, now. The man John, hold on, Francis. The man John us here now to push cartoon, but the cartoon too heavy. Listen, the cartoon then too heavy, so he finding a way to be on spoon. And analyst because it's a political scientist.
Yeah.
But I gave Fagon the chance. Let him enjoy.
Yeah, so
let him enjoy. We will put our cartoon.
So, yeah. So we give all the glory for good health. But again, from Africa, especially Ronnie said, probably he need to go slow a little bit because recent time he are taking too much money from people to make unnecessary hairline for them. I think in this age of social media, especially the critical moment that have to do with our election that will decide the fate of our country in less than 10 months, all of us, Liberians in Liberia and outside Liberia, we need to do a little more better than we are doing. And the journalists, whether they're journalists or journalists, they need to be a little more careful because our society is a gullible society. When people see the hairline, whether it is true, not going to be like Volcano, not going to be like Moses, not going to be like me, maybe quote unquote the intellectual class to go further to dig deeper. People ain't going to do that. People like Fonati Koffa and all these ugly people should be shamed even by the media. So I want to say again, thank you, plenty guys, and hopefully Liberians in Liberia. I'm going there March to register. October will be back to vote. Either my vote will take George Weah out, my one vote will take him out. But I've committed myself based on love for country and based on change to spend my money up to $3,500 to go and come and go and come. Just to do that. I want to say thank you, Planted, and I want to say to the Liberian people, if you think your life has been better for the last 5 years, it's a simple math. It's a simple decision. Evil versus good. You can vote for George Weah if you know your life has never been better for the last 5 years and will not be better even if you get George Weah 100 years. It will not be better. You need to change it and vote for another candidate. Thank you, and thank you plenty.
Thank you, Francis. We'll let you go, my brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Francis. It was a pleasure having you.
Tonight. We'll reach out to you again.
Sure.
So Moses, I guess.
Yeah, let me wrap it up from my end. I would like to wrap it up by telling the Deputy Speaker, Fonati Koffa, that he's not a reputable man. Instead, he is a convicted felon. He's a criminal. He has no integrity. So he need to go back to this so-called group that picking as one of the most reputable person on the African continent. Let the people get him money back. They misled him. Fonati is a criminal. The records are all over the place. So it's not. He lost.
Do we know if he was deported?
No. After serving his time, he went to Liberia on his own.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
he served time. Yeah,
because he saw the avenue through who
he's a naturalized citizen of the United
What I'm
States.
saying, he saw the avenue through which you could have gotten rich quick
Mhm.
riches.
Yeah,
With the George Weah, situation, it was easy. All of us from Grand Crew, and blah blah blah. But yeah, all right, Moses.
Yes. So let me say 2023 Tuesday, October 10th, we decide whether Liberia moves forward or what? Go down the hill. And the only way Liberia will move forward is by not re-electing George Weah. The re-election of George Weah will stall Liberia's progress. It's not a campaign for any political party. It is a campaign for a better Liberia. And that's how I would like to wrap it.
Thank you, Moses.
Sure.
From my perspective, I think I did mention it earlier, where I said that the issue with Liberia, whether we are or whether the opposition, the problem is yet to come, and that's my fear. And I don't know if anyone has a better blueprint and how robust the blueprint can bring change, how quick, because I said it's cancerous now, and it would take the best scientific chemotherapy, the best scientific laser therapy to cleanse Liberia out of this cancer. It's not what we call when it gets to the point where it's irreversible. Is it maladaptive? What's the word? It's not coming. It's right in my head. But anyway, it's not yet irreversible.
Okay.
It's not yet irreversible. It can be reversed.
Yeah, Liberia is redeemable.
Yeah. But it would take that much, of scientific, strategic chemo, laser therapy to cleanse the cancerous nature of Liberia.
Cancer eating also, my man.
Those cancerous nature is the abysmal amount of corruption that is prestigious, as I said. It has to do with the lack of the rule of law. It has to do with a broken down country, and the people who think that it is well, they themselves have the cancer, and they themselves are a part of the cancer, and so they can't see it. And that is my fear. So comes 2023, we are opposition, still have a lot of work to do, and who's better to handle the work? It has to do with the kind of platform and how much you're energized and rolling up your sleeve to bring the best lieutenants to surround you. If you're going to come back with Weah and he carry these same people, then of course it's a waste of time. It doesn't push the country anywhere. And this guy, I'm so afraid that this guy, this is the only president who doesn't reshuffle.
No, but
irrespective of how
irrespective of all the things happening,
incompetent, ineptable, that the people cannot produce, but the man self cannot produce. So I see where the problem comes. If this man could produce, then he would know who's not producing, hold them accountable, or move them. Yeah. But the man himself cannot produce. All this boy wants is money in his pocket. People who are around Weah say no amount of money is small for him. How can you go on your private spree and you take $92,000 from the people? What is it that you're doing that you can't say, no, you take that money, you put it back in?
And I was like, yeah, incidental. We're not talking about the other one.
No incident going on. No incident. You claim that most of this trip was paid for by private donors.
Yeah.
So why would you take $92,000? That's when people who were around we have said that no amount of money is big for this guy. These are the kinds of example that make me to wonder, who is this man? Why this man wants everything for himself? Why is this boy so greedy? Why is the boy lack conscience? You want a trophy? You play in the people counted me. You set in precedent, you got big, then you take the most valuable player.
Most valuable player.
You even fit. You play in the people tournament, counted meet.
Most of the basketball league,
I don't
the
see-
man became MVP too.
What kind of conceitedness is this? Everything should be about you. So the man cannot help Liberia with its cancerous condition.
No.
However, the opposition themselves got me a little nervous,
Yeah,
and I'm
they
being
need to
straight
get
up
it together.
honest.
Yeah.
Some people cannot even articulate the plan to move the country forward.
Right.
And sometimes when you see the people around them, you ask yourself, is it the same old wine we just put in another bottle? So I'll rest my case. But Liberia's problem is 20 to 40 years long. It's not about this election. It doesn't change much. It's not about this election. And I don't know if you and I would be here, but I give God the glory. For the
Man,
longer
let's pray for long life.
around, the more we have these kinds of conversation. Also good to
Definitely.
see you. Let's call it a day. We'll be back here on Tuesday,
By
7
God's grace.
Standard Time, by the grace of God. And I say thank you to everyone who showed up here tonight. Gregory Stem, Bloja Kono, thanks for calling in. Thomas Awaji, thank you so much for being here with us, brother. Mapu Hall, it was good seeing you. Nani Bube, good seeing you. Good seeing you. Good seeing you. It was good seeing you here tonight. It seemed to be your first time. Make the issues room your platform. I'm telling you, this is where you get a lot of good knowledge from what is trending in your country and on the continent. Flomo Livingstone will say thank you. Rivers as pro, I like to say Ahmad Frema, who is always here with us. Thank you, Fajimon you. Godwin Weado, we say thank you so much, everyone who came in tonight for being here. Ansu, Dualu, thank you, my brother. Raymond Clark, thank you for joining us. We'll be back here again Tuesday with another thought-provoking conversation. We will not disclose what we'll be talking about. It's coming up. The flyer will be ready in the coming days. Moses?
Yeah, man.
Good night.
Enjoy your weekend, my man.
It was good.
Good. Thank you.
All right.
It was a pleasure having you.
Hector, you're still live on screen. You're still live.
Okay.
Still
Okay.
with me. Still with me. You're still live.
Okay.
I like the
Oh.
smile. Keep the smile.